Hello guys and welcome to the channel. Well, I'm not sure I can say channel because this isn't a channel yet. I'm not even sure it's gonna become one, but I'll say one thing. Welcome to this video. I've been wanting to do video for a while now. I just kind of got the nerve to do it today for some reason. I know the reason why, but I'm not sure I can tell you yet. And so for a while I've been thinking that maybe I should document or share the way that I edit my photographs and tell you a bit about the stories that happen behind the scenes of the photographs. I find that when I share just the resulting picture, sometimes, well, most of the story gets lost, and it's something that I only get to experience, and I would like to share a bit of those experiences with you guys. Also, I kind of figured you might be wondering why I'm speaking in English. I am French, born and raised in Paris. I live in Montreal, Quebec, which is a French-speaking province, and I know some people are going to be angry at me for speaking English. The reason why is not that I think English is going to reach out to more people, which may or may not be the case, but it's just that for some reason, and I'm sure that other bilingual people or people who speak more than just one language will agree with this or will experience this as well. I'm not the same guy when I speak in English than the guy I am when I speak in French. For some reason, the French version of me is a bit more reserved, a bit more of an introvert. Doesn't have that many things to say. So I'll be speaking in English, and I hope you'll forgive me for this. Maybe I'll put some subtitles, and je suis sûr que je vais me mettre à parler en français de temps en temps. I'll probably say a few things in French sometimes because it just comes easier. But yeah. Alright guys, so let's get into it. We can actually start to import, so let's do that just right now. Ooh. See, already I'm liking these. By the way, as we wait. Oh, there you are. I want to introduce you to somebody. Would you look at this little fella right here? Are we in focus? Yes, we're in focus. Look at her. So she's coming from the SPCA. She's a 2-month-old kitten. We're our foster home until she's 3 months old, and then she can be put to adoption, but in the meantime she lives with us and she learns to socialize with other cats. Alright, so here we are. All my pictures are imported and they're converted to black and white with my favorite personal preset. And so let's look at what we have right here and now. So the first pictures that I took was when I actually just got off my scooter. And at the corner of the street, this group of homeless people, most of them are natives. I believe they are Inuits. And they were getting kicked out of their spot by the police. Those are all like stolen shots, so like kind of shot from the hip. I don't want to be too obvious and like in their face about it. So maybe that one, if I reframe it a bit, let's see, let's put a bit more whites in there. Let's put some shadows and then bring down the highlights. It's kind of useless. I mean, no, I don't really like it. I'm going to keep it though, just like for the story that it tells, just getting kicked out. Although I'm not sure you can actually tell that they're getting kicked out. You can tell that the police is looking down on them, which is what they tend to be doing most of the time, sadly. Anyway. The real first picture that I took today is that one. And that one, I must say, ooh. That one's pretty badass. Look, there's something in his eyes, no? I think like the look in this one, quite sharp on the eyes. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but look at the depth of field on this one. His ears are completely blurred out. His nose, blurred out. Just the eyes, and even the eyebrows are blurred out. That's what happens when you shoot at f1.4 with the 35mm by Canon. It's my favorite lens. It creates this depth in the look of the people because it's really the only thing that's in focus. So what I'm going to be doing is using the brush. I'm going to increase the shadows a bit in the eyes just so that they pop out a bit more. I want to start a series of people who have tattooed faces, and so as soon as I got on Montreal, I saw this guy casually sitting right here and I went straight to him. His name is Matthew, and it turns out that we're actually friends on Facebook. So let's edit this picture. Let's edit Matthew. So I like those portraits to be really, like, to have a real strong texture about it. So my clarity is at 85. Let's see if I can play with the black and white mix a bit. So usually what I'll do in a portrait like this is I'm going to pull the oranges a bit to the right to give them a bit more brightness. But in that case, yeah, I don't think I need to do it. Maybe I will. Minus 19. Let's go at minus 13. Just a tad. The blue. Ooh, that's cool. So the blue, I can reinforce the contrast by bringing it over there. And I like my black and whites to be very contrasty, so that's good. And there we go, folks. I think that's about it. Let's look at that full screen, and pretty good. I would say that's a good portrait. I like this expression he has in his eyes. It's like very deep. Because when you're shooting with the 35mm, you're about this close to the camera. So there's a real connection between me and the subject. Like, I'm in his personal space. So that really connects us. And I find you get more authentic looks versus when you're shooting with a removed, much further away lens. So that's why I shoot 35 only. Let's look at the full body shot, because then I was like, oh, you got cool tattoos on your arms, let's see what we can do. And I was like, yeah, I got tattoos also on my chest. Like, alright, dude, you want to get naked, let's do that. What do? Do I put more shadows? No, I want to darken the blacks. Look at that. Yes, a bit more whites. Told you I like the contrast. And look at that, this is 1.4 as well. The focus is it perfect? It's pretty good, yeah. That's the one. Let's just make sure everything is straight. What if I do this? Alright, yeah, that's good. Let's work with that. That's a cool picture, man. So, you know, most people, I find that they tend to be kind of wary of guys that look like Matthew. He looks very unusual, and he looks kind of badass, and most people are going to judge a book by the cover, and they're going to be like, okay, you got to be careful with this guy. He's probably a drug addict. He's probably not too much of a good kid. These guys are the sweetest guys that I meet out there. So that's why whenever I see someone that has this sort of style, I'm always gonna approach them. First of all, because I love the pictures that I get out of these, quite memorable portraits. And secondly, because I always have such cool interactions with these guys. Man, you guys, it takes balls to tattoo your face like this. It takes balls to, like, say, turn your back to the system to that extent and make yourself look in a way that's going to make it really hard to get back in the system if you ever decide that that's what you would want to do. That takes a lot of balls, and that takes dedication. That takes thinking, I know this system is fucked up, I don't want to take any part in it, so I'm going to just close all the doors in advance for myself. Anyway, let's move on. The next picture, I like that one. I kind of like when older people, let's be nice, are eating ice cream. Just a simple, casual street scene. Walking, lifting the camera, click, taking the picture without even looking, because I don't want to be too... Alright, next portrait is, well, Jesus Christ himself. So let me tell you about this guy. I only know him by the name Jesus. I ran into him maybe 3 years ago, and I took this picture right here. And then we went on to have a conversation, or should I say, he went on to have a conversation with me, or a monologue, for 30 minutes, where he told me about why he was the reincarnation of Jesus Christ himself. Maybe he's a bit out there, you know? And which he totally is, and which he knows himself. But it's so interesting to meet someone like this, who's walking around looking like Jesus Christ on a daily basis and just spreading a message of, so this is what he told me when I took the pictures. I just put it online and say, paix, amour et respect. So, peace, love, and respect. Those are the only things he has to say. When he walks around dressed like this and looking like this is what he projects. Last Sunday, I was at the Gay Pride. Well, it's not called Gay Pride, it's just called Pride now. And I took this amazing picture of him next to two beautiful drag queens. So let's edit this one. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna add a little bit more. Ooh, yeah, it's very dark. Yeah, you've got very deep eyes, man. So let's see if I can get them back. Yeah, that's better. No clarity. I'll add some sharpness. Maybe a bit more exposure. Slightly. Yeah, it's not too burned out. That's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I like this picture. So there we go. That's Jesus Christ for you, my friends. Let's move on to the next one. The next one, yes, I like that one. Let's see in color what that looks like. If I keep the color, it's gonna be because the color has a big part to play in the picture, which I don't think is the case here. And actually here the colors, colorful dress and the colorful flowers here in the purple are kind of stealing the show. They're stealing the attention away from that little tiger here. Is that a tiger? Well, I don't know what animal it is, but it's definitely something that eats meat. And she caught me as I was taking the picture. So this one, I spot her. So I'm walking in her direction and my camera is at my hip. I'm holding it like down, so I'm kind of like this. And then as I walk to her, click, and she knows what I'm doing. Kids are like, they're always the first one to spot me whenever I'm doing street photography, and I love that I got her eye. Oh, look at that, perfect framing, shooting blind. That's not luck, guys, that's experience and practice. And a lot of luck as well, though, but don't tell other people. And I'm done with this one. Let's move on to the next one. What have we got next? Again, that's a stolen shot from the hip. I love that this guy was just like sitting in the middle of the crowd. Everyone's like walking past him, and I don't know what music he's listening to, but that looks like it's a captivating piece. It's a busy street, everyone's walking, there's lots of noise and lots of people everywhere, and then you have this guy completely peaceful, sitting right there in the middle of it all, listening to his music, living his own moment. So I shot at f2.8 because I wanted to really isolate him from the background. The problem is, as you can see, because I shot blindly, the focus, for some reason, is on that lady in the back. And she caught me. Look at that. She spotted me. I kind of like that she spotted me over his shoulder. Okay, now we're getting to the giant boxers. I want to keep the one with the master and not that one either. I think that one's going to be yes. Although I kind of like that he's licking. Let's see if I can salvage the overexposed parts of it. Alright, I don't like that his paw is cropped out though, so I think I'm not going to delete it for now, but I'm not going to do anything with it either. Let's work on that one, because that one, look at that. So actually what this guy told me is that this is the son and this is the mom. Look at the size of his head. It's giant. It's ginormous. Imagine if that thing was to bite you, which it won't. It will just lick you because it's a super cool dog, super friendly. You should not be afraid of dogs. You should be afraid of bad masters. I like that the master also isn't looking at me. He's looking at the dog, so he's not stealing the attention. Because if there's a human looking at the camera in the picture, this is usually something that's going to attract your attention. I've also shot at 2.8 so that only the dogs would be in focus. What do we have next? Oh yes, this is going to be a color picture. Look at the pink dress on this beautiful lady in the greenery. Oh yes, I think I like this composition better. Let's go with this. I'm picking my yeux. That's how you say eyes in French. Here we're wondering. There you go, look at that. That's the problem. When you're shooting at this hour, the sun is really high up and it doesn't penetrate the eye sockets. So the eyes are always in the shade unless you ask your subjects to lift their head up a bit, which I don't want to do too much when I'm doing street portraits like this, because it makes people more self-conscious, and as soon as you tell them to place themselves one way or another, well, you kind of remove the authenticity of the look they're going to give you. So I'm not asking anything out of my subjects except for, can I please take your picture? And boom, that's it, that's done. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great day. Look at that, how beautiful you are. Can you see why I asked you? And usually people are happy when you do this. Free compliments. Ooh, I like that. Look at that. They both caught me. The kid caught me, and the grandmother caught me. I like that shot. And again, stolen shot. I'm not framing, I'm not lifting this to my eyes. I'm really just like pointing the camera where I think I ought to point it and then just clicking. Click. And this is what I get out of it. I like this shot. Okay, I've brought the highlights completely down so that I got all the information, all the details in the mattress. And full screen. Loading time. There we go. Yeah. I mean, just street photography. I like pictures like this. Just like little moments. A grandmother pushing around his grandkid. That's just life. I like shooting life. So we had this lady eating dinner on her own in this very sad patio. And I thought maybe there's something to be done. So I shot through like the fence and the flowers, and these are leaves, as you can tell. Let's see, maybe this one is more interesting. So I'm going to be using the radial filter, which I'm inverting, and I'm adding exposure right about there, and then bring the highlights back down. And these here, the greens, are way too bright. We're taking the attention away from our lady in the back, so I'm bringing them back down. I'm going to bring this back up and use this line here as the start of my frame. There you go. Keep it up. And there you go. Yes! So not this one. This one. I kind of like this picture. So let's delete all the pictures that we've removed. And let's choose our favorite picture for the day. I know it's definitely going to be one of the portraits from Matthew. The up close and personal, and I can see your eyes and I can see your soul in there. Or is it gonna be yeah, I think it's gonna be that one. And he was sitting in the perfect place as well. Perfect spot. Like the background with all the graffitis, the perfect setup, the perfect context for this guy. So yeah, that's my favorite picture of the day. I'm gonna pick this one, and you know what? I think I'm even gonna print it out. Alright guys, so we are ready to start printing our portrait of Matthew. I've loaded the printer right here with a piece of this fine art animule paper. This is my favorite paper in the world. I'm gonna take the camera now and I'm gonna show you what comes out of the printer. Okay guys, look, the picture is starting to come out. I'm always getting so impatient whenever I'm waiting for the picture to be printed out. I'm going to show you the final picture. Look at that. Don't focus on me, focus on Matthew. What that looks like. That's pretty good. So first of all, I have a few things that I want to ask you. Did you find any of this interesting at all? Did you enjoy watching this, and would you watch more of this? And if so, make sure to leave a like or a comment, or maybe even share the video, but just do something, like act on it. Click on something so that I know that you've watched it, and that I know that you've liked it, and that it's worth doing more of this. And what I'm going to do to entice you to leave a comment, it can be a critic, it can be a compliment, it can be sharing a story. If you're a photographer that you think makes sense, sharing in relationship to, let me put that away so I don't break it, in relationship to the stories that I've told you. And out of all the people that commented, I'm gonna pick one of you, and I'm gonna send you this beautiful picture of Matthew. Do you want this? Do you want this in your living room? So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I really hope this was interesting, and maybe I'll see you again, maybe I won't. Goodbye, my friends. I'll see you soon. Or I won't. I don't know. Goodbye. Just goodbye.